Recently I got a job with Baker Tilly this coming tax season and helping with Vita
Vita, yeah.
on the weekends for Spanish-speaking clients. And for those who don't know, Baker Tilly is what, second tier public accounting firm?
That's, I mean, I hate to use the word second tier. It's not like a big four, but yeah, it's a good
Yeah, it's not a big four,
accounting
but
firm.
it's not a small rink-a-dink one either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's great, Gennaro or Renato. And yeah, if you're bilingual, that's going to serve you really well in this country, in this industry. So again, email me if you feel like it. Just talk about your experiences. This is funny.
Anus potatoes, $10. Hey, Chad and other guy.
Other guy.
What do you think is the best government job in the accounting field for work-life balance? My goal is to leverage my disabled veterans' hiring preference for a cushy job.
You know, I really enjoyed my time with DOJ criminal tax because, I mean, there was some travel, like when we were doing that Snipes case, but the rest of the time you're just kind of there, you know, putting in your time, going through legal documents, going on Westlaw, and it's really not stressful at all. Might be kind of boring for you, but if you're looking for just a low-stress work-life balance, either that. Because the problem with you working for the IRS is they're probably going to send you out on field audits, and so that might get kind of annoying for you. But yeah, see if you can get in with DOJ tax. I also worked with, go ahead.
I was gonna say, wasn't your main complaint that it was almost too boring? Like you're stuck in a room, like, and so. But isn't that all government job? Like everyone, oh, it's easy, yeah, but it's boring.
All of the government jobs I had, except for the ones like with the U.S. tax court, I traveled all over, so that was kind of cool. But I don't know, government jobs are boring. I couldn't do it.
Well, that's been my impression of everyone who's complained about their government jobs. Is it's like, well, I only got 2 hours of work to do and 8 hours to do it. I'm like, yeah, so it's like going to school. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, yeah, that's the real drawback is you gotta like act like you're working or sit there and twiddle your thumbs all day. Yeah.
I did. I mean, I learned within the first month when I would walk up and be like, hey, I'm kind of finished with everything. You have anything else to do? They're like, no. So it's like, all right, guess I'll just watch YouTube all day and surf the internet. So.
But you can't leave, right?
No, you have to put in your. It's the opposite of being like an enterprising entrepreneur. All right, well, cool. That's a great start to Super Chats.
How many we up here now? We get 5 or 6?
We are up to towards the goal 7, so just a few more, and I'll tell you that story. And I'll add some details. Again, no doxing, but I'll add some details too. So, all right, let's get to the main subject here. Like I said, I found this article. I'm going to share it. I'll put it on the screen. But what I wanted to make sure. Remember, Claire, I've never taken the EA exams. Like, I don't know anything about them. I don't know how they compare to the reg section of the CPA exam. I just don't know. So I reached out to several people who I've known who are fans of this channel and even your channel who are EAs and who took the exam. And I heard back from a lot of them, including Nickus Steve and King Crab, who are in the chat now, and they said these are actually legit questions that you may see on the EA exam. So, and so a lot of people email me, well, how hard is it? Well, you're about to find out how hard it was. So here we go. We're going to start with testing Clary's knowledge, and then when we get Atham on, we'll see how he does.
Is that really fair? I mean, I did go to the Carlson School of Management. I mean, is it even going to be comparable?
Okay. I'm hoping you'll be able to.
Okay.
Yeah, I may need to just.
Here we go. Yeah.
I might have to take you out so you can't see it. But anyway, I'll just set the table here. This is a great article. It came out about a week ago. Kansas City Star, somebody named Bryce Welker. I didn't look him up, but it was a good article. Preparing for the enrolled agent exam can be a challenging yet rewarding journey for aspiring tax professionals. If you want to do it the right way, you're in the right place. After all, practice makes perfect. Without further ado, dig into this set of 50-plus multiple-choice questions, practice for the EA exam, and get ready to pass on your first try. And I'm going to skip this part, but as a refresher, in case anybody doesn't know what the EA exam is, the EA exam is a series of 3 exams, each containing 100 questions to be taken over the course of 3.5 hours each. Understanding the intricacies of tax law, including credits like the American Opportunity Credit, mastering IRS forms like the Health Insurance Marketplace Statement, and preparing tax identification number requirements are crucial for success. Whether you're tackling questions on gross income, exploring tuition expenses, or learning about installment agreements, these sample questions will sharpen the skills you'll need as an enrolled agent, and it'll boost your confidence for test day.
Okay, here I go. All right.
All right, so the first thing is there's 3 different exams. There's 3 different EA exams, and there's a bunch of subcategories for each one. So like I said, we're going to go through each subcategory for each, exam. And I picked the easiest ones possible for Clary because, again, you have to study for this, so I didn't want to just, put you with something that you wouldn't have been able to get.
All right.
So here we go. It's multiple choice, all right? Can you see these okay?
I can see them, yeah, sort of. I can read them. Yep.
Okay, so we're going to start with question 2. On the first one,
don't scroll. I can see the answer. The answer's
no. Yeah, that's
right.
not a question you're answering. Though. That's not a question. You're not going to get to see the answer. So, the first exam is called individuals. It's like individual taxation.
All right.
And the first subcategory is preliminary work with taxpayer data. Okay. I didn't think you'd be able to get to question 1, so we'll go to question 2 here, and I won't show you the answer.
I won't look. Read it to me.
Okay. A taxpayer is divorced and claims 2 children as dependents on their tax return. The other parent disputes the claim. What documentation might you request from the taxpayer to support their claim? Is it A, custodial agreement and proof of residence for the children, B, a notarized statement from the taxpayer, C, the children's social security cards only, or D, proof of employment?
A.
Yeah, it's definitely A.
Come on, gee whiz.
Well, I mean, we gotta. I want to. What documentation might you request from the taxpayer to support their claim? Is it A, custodial agreement and proof of residence for the children, B, a notarized statement from the taxpayer, C, the children's social security cards only, or D, proof of employment?
A.
Yeah, it's definitely A.
Come on, gee whiz.
Well, I mean, we gotta. I want to get you.
Summa cum laude.
We gotta warm you up a little bit. We gotta get you.
Right.
Get you. Remember, the article said we want to increase your confidence.
That was
here.
T-ball. You put the ball on the thing. I just hit it.
But so, as the answer says, you need a custodial agreement and proof of residence so you can substantiate the dependence claim. And generally, you alternate years on in a divorce. So that's how that works.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I won't look again.
Don't look. So the next subsection of individuals is actually called income and assets. Okay. And I thought question 2 would be the best one for you. Okay.
Right.
So here's the question. A taxpayer received $10,000 from a crowdfunding campaign, so sort of like GoFundMe, to fund their personal medical expenses. Is this amount taxable? A, yes, it is always taxable income. B, no, as long as the funds were used for qualified medical expenses. C, yes, unless it is specifically excluded under the tax code. Or D, no, as long as the crowdfunding was not in exchange for goods or services. Did you get all those? And
I got it. Run A and C past me again.
A was, yes, it's always taxable income. And C was, yes, unless it is specifically excluded under the tax code. And B and D were no answers. So,
okay, that's why I asked about A and C, but here's what I would treat it as. I don't know if it falls conveniently under those 4 questions. It is reportable. You have to pay the income tax on that, but then if your medical expenses are deductible, you would deduct those normally through the Schedule A. So the one that most closely represents that, I think, is C.
So here's the deal. The answer is actually D, that it's not taxable as long as the crowdfunding was not in exchange for goods or services. And let me tell you why. It was a bit of a trick question.
All right.
This is essentially charity. Like GoFundMe is charity. You're not actually working for this income. It's just people giving it to you. Yeah.
Okay, so if I go set up a crowdfunding, hey, help Aaron buy his new Mach 1971 Mach 1 Mustang, and they go crowdfund me, I don't have to pay taxes on that?
That's correct. And Nick is Steve is right here. He says technically it's a gift, and so if you the gifter, if you give more than I think it's what up to $15,000 now per person, the giver has to file a tax return. But I mean, if you're crowdfunding and somebody gives you money, it's not income because you really didn't do any work.
Right, but I thought it. Well, shoot, I'm going to set up a crowdfunding for the charity, the noble charity of everyone buying me a 1971 Mach 1 Mustang.
It's a good. You know how many scams go on and things like this?
Oh, dude, the GoFundMe or crowdfunding, yeah, where especially they say, oh, we're going to create a video game or a comic book, and they don't. They just take the money and run. And then all these nerds are like, but I donated money and we didn't create a video game.
Right. So, I'm sorry, guys. Never contribute to GoFundMe's.
Never.
Don't.
Unless it's for my Mustang.
Yeah. All right. So the next section is called deductions and credits. So I'm going to have you answer question 1 here. Make sure you can't see the answer.
All right, I'm looking over here.
You might not actually get this one, Clary, but it was the easiest one. A taxpayer incurred $3,000 in student loan interest in the tax year. How much can they deduct, and where is this deduction reported? A, $2,500 reported on Schedule A. B, $2,500 reported as an adjustment to income. C, $3,000 reported on Form 8863. Or D, $3,000 reported as a credit on Form 1040. Start with the value amount. Like, you think it's $2,500 or 30, or the full amount?
Wait, what? So, I got to pay $3,000 in interest expense.
You paid that during the year.
I paid that.
Yeah.
And they want to know if the amount, if it's $3,000 or $2,500. I'm going to say the IRS is overly complicated, so they're not going to allow you to take the full amount. It's going to be $2,500. Am I right on that?
You are right. So do you think it's reported as an adjustment to income or as some kind of credit? And I know that's a little bit confusing, but one takes
so $2,500 reported on Schedule A. $2,500 reported as an adjustment to income.
Yeah.
Where's the deduction report? Okay, so now it's which form? You know what? I don't remember seeing anything on a Schedule A allowing for a student loan, so I'm going to go with B as the answer.
You got the correct answer.
Right there.
The answer is B. You can deduct up to $2,500 student loan interest as an adjustment to income. However, I didn't like this question because if your gross income is higher than certain amounts, like if it's single, I think it's 85,000, and married.
Right, it phases out.
It phases out, yeah. So I think that they should have been a little bit more clear on that question, but you did get it correct. So,
but here, can I? You mean MAGI? M-A-G-I?
Yeah, modified gross income. Yeah. Hey, where you learning these jargon terms?
Give me my EA now, man.
All right, the next category under individual is called taxation, and the question I thought would be best for you is actually question 3, which I shall read to you right now. I actually think you'll get this one, Clary.
All
right. Brett, bust out a calculator if you need to for this one.
I'll break open my calculator on the computer screen.
Okay.
And I will cover the screen so I can't even see the answers. All right, go ahead.
Okay. A self-employed taxpayer earned $120,000. What is the self-employment tax liability, and how much is deductible as an adjustment to income? I'll read you the options, but Claire, I want to mention this was before we set you up with an S corporation, so think about before all that. Okay.
Okay. Self-employment taxes. All right.
A, is it $15,300 total with half of that deductible? B, $18,360 total, half of that deductible. C, $16,800 total, half of that deductible. Or D, $18,360 total with none of it deductible. Think about the percentage.
It's 15.3%.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's the first 18,000 answer.
And
18,000 with half of it deductible.
And guess what? You would be correct. The self-employment tax is 15.3%, and half is deductible as an adjustment to income. Man, I just feel so proud. I've trained you so well. Man, you're in the wrong career.
Yeah, you're not.
These are the easiest questions, remember?
Okay.
All right, the next section is called advising the individual taxpayer. I should say subsection. I felt like question 3 would be the best one for you.
All right.
And I'll read that now. Question 3. A taxpayer asks about strategies to reduce taxable income for the year. Which of the following would you recommend? Option A, contribute to a health savings account, also known as an HSA. B, sell appreciated stock. C, prepay next year's mortgage payments. And D, increase credit card spending. We want the best answer, not any answer.
The best answer is contribute to the HSA.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, that's obviously
Sell appreciated stock. That doesn't make that you just increase.
A lot of
taxes.
these make no sense. I gotta be honest with you guys, and this is not a knock on the EA or anything. These are way easier than what we had on the tax section of the CPA exam. I mean, it's man. All right, so far Clary's doing pretty well.
Pretty well.
The next one, this is actually the final one in the individual category. This one's called Specialized Returns for Individuals, and I liked this question 1 here. Clary, if you don't know this one after what we've been talking about recently, I don't ever
Great
talk
shame.
to me again.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
A taxpayer is a U.S. citizen living abroad and earned $105,000 in wages. What tax exclusion might they qualify for? And it's option A, foreign earned income exclusion, B, foreign tax credit, C, exemption from FICA taxes, and D, total income exclusion. This was literally my last stream.
What are the first 2 titles?
First 2 are foreign earned income exclusion, that's A, and then B is foreign tax credit.
A, the foreign earned
It
income
is
exclusion.
A,
All right.
yes. This was pretty much what my entire last stream was about a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I figured you'd get that one.
What am I at? 75% right now?
I think you've gotten all of them except like 1.
Well, right. So 75%, right?
Yeah, you have done a total of 6 questions so far. So you're at what, 86? Well, 5 divided by 6, whatever that is, 84%.
86%? What's passing for the EA?
You know what? I can't believe I don't know that. You guys who took Nick is Steve. What is a passing percentage for the EA? Because I should have looked that up. But that concludes the first big section, the individual section. Okay, now we're gonna get to business. These get a
Now,
little
do you need to
trickier.
get another beer or take a break?
I'm fine. Why, do you need a break?
I gotta go pee.
Go for it.
All right, let's go. You tell people where they can find a resource on how to become an enrolled agent.
You won't get to see me do it. All right, so so Clary and I helped put together this this course, and so he put together the course. Like, you guys know the story. He was trying to get me to do it, but it's like it's putting together slides and having to dictate. So I just said, look, man, I don't want to do that. And so he actually put together the course, but I helped him with the material. So, you know, a lot of it was just input that I had. And the name of the course is, I'm actually going to do a much greater, you know, he likes it when I just shout it out, but I'll do that at the end. But it's actually called The World's Greatest Accounting Career. And I linked that in the description, like I do with all the shows. And that's an affiliate link, so if somebody clicks on it, I get a little percentage. Oh, and the other thing I want to mention is that this article that has all of these practice questions, I linked that in the description too, in case anybody wants to see the article, because it's good to practice this stuff and to see how hard it is if you think you want to do it. Okay, Nick is Steve. There is no passing percentage. Nathan Zerline says there is no score. It's based on points, and so you need points, and it's a numbering system. Simon says it's a score out of 130. And then Causal Kraken says the enrolled agent exam is graded on a scale of 40 to 130, and you have to have a score at a 105 or above. It sounds a little bit like the CPA exam, where it's like they attribute different points to different types of questions. So it's some
ever so roughly, it's an 81% passing.
Yeah, 105 divided by.
Yeah, so I'm so far I'm passing.
You're passing, yeah. But now we get to the business section, and so let's talk about this a little bit. Question 1 was really the best one for Clary. Clary, I'm being dead serious. If you don't get this right, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Why are you giving me the dead serious? If you don't get this right, I'll never
because
speak to you
you
again
have to get this one right.
All right.
Business entities and considerations. A taxpayer operates a sole proprietorship that wants to limit personal liability. Which business entity would you recommend for this purpose while maintaining pass-through taxation? Do I even need to read the
No,
multiple choice options?
LLC.
The answer is yes. You want to do an LLC.
All right.
The only thing I'll mention about this is that a C corporation is never the answer. Those are the big corporations like Nike and Microsoft.
Yeah, we're not going to Delaware.
Right. The next section under business is called business tax preparation, and I actually thought question 5 was the best one for you on this, because some of these were kind of tricky. Business taxation is a lot harder than individual. Okay. Question 5. A business claims deductions for meals. What percentage of the meal expense is deductible if the meals are directly related to business? Is it A, 0%, B, 50%,
50.
C, yeah, it's 50. However, for tax years 2021 and 2022, it was 100 because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah, they wanted to help restaurants. So another one right for Clary. Maybe I should have made these harder.
I'm at 90% now.
So the final section of the businesses, or the final subsection of businesses, is called specialized returns and taxpayers. And I thought question 3 was the best one for you for this one. Question 3 says, you may not get this one, dude. Question 3 is, a small business operated by a decedent is transferred to their heirs. So let's say that you're my son and I die. Okay. What is the basis of the business assets for the heirs? Is it option A, the decedent's original basis, option B, the fair market value on the date of death, C, the purchase price paid by the heirs, or D, the greater of cost or fair market value? Think about this. I die and I give you my business. What do we value when it comes to that?
But what was C, where there was a price paid?
Yeah, I don't know why they said that, because it was transferred.
There wouldn't be a price paid if you inherited, so it's not C. Give me the other 3 again.
Is it A, is it my original basis? Is it the fair market value of it when I die? Or is it D, the greater of the cost or fair market value?
I'm going to get this one right. You know why I'm going to get it right?
Why?
Because the IRS tax code is always if then, greater than, less than. I'm going to go with the D, the greater of the cost of the thing and the stuff. The more complicated answer.
So the answer is actually A, because when you... Well, it's good. It's because when you die... So let's say if you die and you bequeath something to somebody, they get a stepped up basis. So it's like, let's say I paid for a stock of, I don't know, Berkshire Hathaway, and I paid $1,000, right? And now the fair market value of the stock when I die is actually $10,000. You get the stepped up basis, meaning when you sell that stock, you don't have to pay that huge capital gain of when I purchased it.
Oh, this is what you were talking. Yeah, you talked about this before, about how wealthy people pass this on. And there was something. Yes, you talked about this before.
Yeah.
But I was thinking different angle, different logic, and then I just went with the greater of cost or fair market value, because the IRS likes to make it complicated. But I did not get that one correct. No.
Well, it was one of the more difficult questions, but everything else in this section was harder. So
Okay.
All right. The last section is part 3, and it's called representation, practices, and procedures. Okay.
All right.
I've heard this is a annoying exam, so I thought question 1 was the best one for you on this one. And the question is, what action must an enrolled agent take if they discover an error on a client's prior year tax return? Is it A, immediately notify the IRS of the error, B, correct the error without informing the client, C, advise the client of the error and recommend corrective action, or D, ignore the error as it is the responsibility of the client?
I'm going to say probably C, inform the client and recommend that they fix it.
That is the exact answer. The only thing I want to say about this is that don't ever, ever, ever do B. You cannot correct somebody's return without telling them about it.
Right.
That'll get you thrown out. So, all right, so that was practice and procedures. The next subsection is called representation before the IRS, and I thought question 2 was the best one for you on this.
How many questions are there in each of these subsections?
It varies. Like some of them had 3, some of them had 5.
Oh, you're not just picking
Yeah.
the easiest one because it's number 1. I mean, you found.
Yeah, I went through all these. By the way, I took the whole test and everything yesterday. I missed some of these. Like you gotta refresh your memory on a lot of
I
stuff.
think your MBA or
MBA is worthless. So question 2, representation before the IRS. During an IRS audit, the enrolled agent notices that the revenue agent has made an error. So the revenue agent made an error in interpreting the tax law. What should the enrolled agent do? Should they A, file an immediate appeal to the IRS appeals office, B, request a meeting to discuss and clarify the issue, C, file a complaint with the OPR, or D, allow the audit to proceed and correct the issue in tax courts?
let's say B.
It's B.
Because, I mean, you're not gonna like file a complaint. The guy might have made an honest error.
Yeah, you always want to not escalate any of this stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to yell at Harvey. Harvey might just had a bad day.
Yeah. I wish Harvey was here for this one. Shoot. Atham, we only have one more question left for Clary. Do you want to come on? Let me know and I'll send you the link. And then the very last question for you, Clary, and so far you've gotten all of them right for 2, I'm sorry, there's 2 left. So the third subsection is called specific areas of representation, and I thought question 3 was the best for you on this.
All right.
So question 3 is, a client is under criminal investigation for tax fraud. What is the enrolled agent's role in this situation? A, is it to provide legal representation in court? B, act as a mediator between the client and the IRS? C, prepare supporting documentation and work alongside the client's attorney? Or D, file an appeal with the IRS appeals office? This is a slightly trickier.
Whoa, I'm like, because the enrolled agent isn't he or she actually allowed to legally represent. They're one of 3 people that can represent you, correct?
Correct.
Well, okay, go through the first 3 because I think those are all things they could do. But go through the 3 again.
This is among the trickier ones,
Okay.
but it was still the easiest in this subsection.
All right.
All right. So A, do you provide legal? Okay. Do you provide legal
advice.
representation in court? Or do you B, act as a mediator between the client and the IRS? Or do you C, prepare supporting documentation and work alongside the client's attorney? Which of these do you think the EA would do?
Honestly, Chad, I would say I would say both A and C, but I'm gonna go with C.
It's C, yeah.
Okay.
Because if you are under criminal investigation, you have to have an attorney. And EA is not going to. You have to have an attorney, essentially.
Oh, so it presupposes if I'm under criminal investigation, then I can't even talk to the IRS until I get an attorney.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but then where does that ability of an enrolled agent can legally represent you in front of the IRS? Or is it you need an attorney on top of the EA?
If this is a criminal matter, you need an attorney. There is a huge difference. This is Wesley Snipes versus some dude who forgot to, include a 1099, on his most recent tax return. Yeah. So I thought that one was a little trickier, but the rest of the questions were harder in that section. So
Okay. All right.
So Clary, this is your last question.
Last one. Well, hang on. Let me do some math.
You've already passed, I think.
No, I don't know. So I have
13 total questions.
13 total. I have 2 divided by 13 wrong. 15. I can't miss this one. I don't think I can miss this one.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me do another. 3 divided by 13. Am I still above 80%? No, I got to get this one right.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
You should be able to get this one. The last subcategory is called filing process, and I thought question 1 made the most sense for you. I don't know. You might not know this, Clary. If a taxpayer e-files their return but later discovers an error, what form should they file to amend the return? Is it A, a Form 1040X, B, Form 4868, C, Form 2848, or D, Form 1045? Think about this logically.
Well, I had to file an amendment.
You did?
Yeah, 1040X.
You got it. You passed. Got question.
I'm an E. Give me my EA. Here I go. I'm going to go work for H&R Block now.
Yeah. So, that's sort of a good representation of sort of what the EA exams can be. Again, these were the easier questions.
Well, like, is Atham here yet, or did he?
Yeah, Atham, do you want to come on real quick, Atham?
If he doesn't want to, you know, he's
yeah, we're almost an
he doesn't
hour
have
anyway.
to.
So,
What?
yeah.
Come on, give me a hard one. Come on,
Okay.
give me a couple hard ones.
You know what?
Here.
Let me give me just a minute.
I don't want to
find
ruin the
one.
reputation of the Carlson School. Imagine people are going to think it's a shitty school that you should never attend in a cold state with women that don't like men. Come on.
All right.
What a Carlson grad is capable of here.
Let me go back up to the top here. Individual, so it's supposedly easy, but I don't know, Clary.
I don't want. Give me a hard one. Come on here. Give me.
Easy for those of us who know about this stuff, but you might not. Like, you might get fooled by this one.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Question 1, starting at the top. A taxpayer provides you with their W-2 showing income of $75,000 and $10,000 in withholdings. They also mention a bank account with $1,200 of interest that has not yet been reported. Okay. What form should you use to report the interest income, and why is it necessary? Where do you put that on the return? It's option A is Form 1099 Div. Option B is Form 1099 INT. Option C is Schedule B, and option D is simply the Form 1040.
A taxpayer.
You are my client. You give me your W-2 and you give me your interest statement. Where do I have to put the interest? What
Well, wait.
form?
Run it past me again. That I didn't get a 1099 INT from the bank saying I had it. Run the part about not having the interest reported again. Read me the question again.
Sure. So I'll mention that specific part. So you come to me. You give me your W-2. You also tell me, I've got a bank account with $1,200 of interest, but I don't have a document for you yet.
So I didn't get the 1099 INT, so that's not it.
But you have to
That's
put it
that
somewhere, right?
I have to put it somewhere, right? Well, and I make. How much do I make?
Well, it says you make $75,000. That doesn't matter, dude.
I don't know because it depends on.
It's a bit of a trick
Dude,
question.
I'm gonna say it's the Form 1040.
That is the correct answer.
Why? Come on, look at this.
But there's a caveat, Clary. Now, Schedule
No.
B, you do report dividends and interest on Schedule D. It's required, or Schedule B, I'm sorry. But that's only if the interest income exceeds $1,500. So this is a harder question than you think, because they said you had only $1,200 in interest.
Right.
If it had been
What-
$1,500, you have to add a new form.
What is Schedule B? I've never used it. Is that like where other income is reported in case somebody didn't give you the
No.
proper documentation?
Schedule B is strictly like reporting dividends and interest, and if it's if either of those exceed 1,500, you have to, there's a part at the bottom where you have to certify that none of it is coming from a foreign bank account. This is again like, you know, they're
FATCA,
trying to crack
really?
down
Wow.
FATCA and all that
Wow.
stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Let me, for those of you who want to start your own practice and prep, let me tell you a trick I do with this. I don't care if Schedule B is required or not. I always include it because it's just easier for me to put it on there and explain to the client, like, this was the interest that you had to report and these are the dividends. You don't have to file this form, but I'm putting it on there for you anyway. So that's just a little pro tip from my
Okay.
end.
All right. Give me another hard one here. Hard one, please. Please.
All right. Look away for a second. I
I want
want
to
to
look
find.
away. Find another.
Okay.
Look at this blank wall over here.
That one's too hard for you.
What? Wait, what was that?
Yeah. You don't know enough about passive income yet. so
Boy,
don't-
you know, for a guy who's batting 9 out of 10.
All right, Claire, you want it? You got it.
Yeah. Let's go,
all right.
let's go. Hey, Mr.
All right.
NBA. Mr. My
Okay.
farts don't stink.
Okay, look away for a second.
I'm looking away.
Okay, this is on the income and assets part.
Income and assets.
I'm gonna have to really outline this to you. Okay, this is question 1. A taxpayer sold a rental property for $350,000. Okay.
All right.
You can write this down if you have to.
Hang on, let me get my notes out. I'm not looking. Pulling up my notepad. Okay, let me create a new. All right, 350,000.
Rental property sold, 350,000.
Right.
Their basis in the property was 200,000. Okay, you got this.
Right.
They had taken $50,000 in depreciation. Okay.
Okay, so we're talking depreciation recapture.
Oh.
What's this, Chad?
So Nick is Steve. Yes, it's easy. However, Clary had to endure this exact situation several years ago. He owed taxes. He wasn't happy about it, and I had to sit there and explain to him why he owed taxes, and it was the depreciation recapture.
Okay.
So you got your numbers, right?
Yeah.
What's the gain? We're not going to worry about what type of gain it was. What's the gain then? What's the capital gain?
Okay, so I sold it for 300. My basis
350.
350.
Yeah.
My basis is 200,000. I should have a gain, but my basis is really 150. So my gain is 200,000.
So the gain at what you have to report is 200,000 in total. It's just they break it up between 150,000 as a regular capital gain, and then the other 50,000 is it's called
depreciation recapture.
Yeah, which is a Section 1250 gain. So you got the answer correct. Like, it's all kind of the same thing.
You didn't even have to give me the options, right?
All right, you're starting to get cocky. I gotta find one that's gonna get you.
I can't see the options. He didn't even say A, this amount, B. I just knew it. I just did it.
All right, you look away. All right, you look away for a second.
Away. I can't
look away.
I'm looking away.
I gotta find one that's gonna get you.
Oh, the old gonna get you. What am I at? 93% now?
You're crushing it. I almost gave you this one, Clary, originally, but I didn't think you'd get it. So question 2. All right, this is again this one is. Let me tell you the subcategory that this one's in. This one is in deductions and credits. Okay. So, question 2. A taxpayer claims the child tax credit for 3 children. Okay. If the taxpayer's adjusted gross income exceeds $400,000 and they're filing jointly, so they're married, what happens to this credit? Okay, now here are the 4 options.
All right.
Is it A, it remains unaffected, B, it phases out by $50 for every $1,000 over the threshold, C, it is entirely disallowed, and D, it converts to the earned income credit?
All right.
You know what? It's not.
Again.
D
don't give me hints. Don't give me hints.
D is the stupidest option, so ignore D. That's just.
Yeah, because it doesn't. I wasn't going to guess D anyway. But give me the 3 options again.
So, does it remain child tax credit? Does it remain unaffected? Does it phase out by $50 for every $1,000 over the threshold, or is the whole thing disallowed based on that AGI?
Boy, you know, my inclination is to go. They made another rule to make another calculation because the IRS loves that, so it's going to be phased out every $1,000 over it. But the last time I guessed that complicated, I was wrong. And the other one is just completely disallowed because they combine to make to. Boy, it's between those two.
What do you think?
I'm gonna guess. You know what? Here's my logic. They have MAGI adjustments for you when you contribute to IRAs, 401ks, things like that. Also, what else? I'm gonna go with it's phased out because there are many instances in the tax code where things are phased out. Now, my right, or is it completely disallowed?
You got the damn right answer again. It is. Hold on. Now, Great One. You know what, Great One? I am gonna give him a really hard question, but first I need to get another beer and I need to go pee. So, Clary, you can hawk whatever you want.
You know, let me tell you about the Cynical Libertarian Society, and he likes things hard. All right, let me tell you how much the Great One he likes hard questions. He likes hard things.
And also, Simon W has a point. You can't just sit and think about these. You are on a time limit, so just keep that.
Oh, for crying out loud! What are you?
I'll be right back, and then we're gonna stump you on some stuff. Okay?
Okay, sure. You're gonna stump me. They've been promising. Anyway, after my amazing performance, which actually is not anything indicative of my education at the Carlson School of Management, which is a shit school that you should never send your kids to, let alone send yourself to. The only reason I got these questions right is because I had done my taxes for quite some time on my own. I am friends with Chad Elkins, and he has done my taxes. We've gone through a lot of these. We've gone through, but a lot of it was me doing taxes, going through the 1040 form years ago. That's how I did it. And it is also, again, not Carlson had nothing to do with it. It is also that I am a fucking genius. I'm an incredibly intelligent person. Yes, I'm unashamed about that because everyone's got a shame. You think you're smarter than us? Yes, I fucking am. And the other thing is that you can deduce these if you knew enough about taxes. You're kind of like, yeah, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be the other way around. So I'm just a really fucking impressive individual. Let's just put it that way. I'm still waiting to get stumped here. Still waiting to get stumped. Still waiting. Hasn't happened yet. So yeah. And then if you're really bored and you got nothing else to do. You literally have nothing else to do. Check out the Cynical Libertarian Society and listen to the Great Ones podcast. Be forewarned, he is only fans of straight white males and will make that abundantly clear in about the first 45 seconds of every podcast, using nothing but the most colorful epithets to describe different groups of people. But oddly enough, even though he is only a fan of straight white men, he has a surprising a number of black males in his audience who actually like his show. I think what it is everyone's so sick and fucking tired of the politically correct speech that people just like it when he comes in and just starts going on a tear. But you can find sinlibsoc.com. Chad, are you there? You turned off your camera. I can see you moving around.
No, I'm here. Yep.
All right. You gonna give me a really hard one?
I am. This is the pickle beer that will disgust the rest of you, but I love it.
Oh God, the GF is smiling. She drinks pickle juice out of the like a fucking animal.
I'm gonna have to bring her one of these because she would really like it.
Why are you people vindicating these behaviors?
All right, Claire, if you get this one, I'll be truly impressed.
What do I get? I'm doing pretty good. This is like a kid coming home with straight A's. What do I get?
You might get something, it'd be more of a Christmas present, but it might be a drink or several drinks that you enjoy for some god-awful reason.
Okay, already I know you got those. I mean, no, what else do I get? I gotta get something. Like, when you come visit me, you gotta buy me a Big Mac or something.
Okay, I'll buy you a Big Mac.
Some unhealthy fast food. You must buy me a Happy Meal or an equivalent thereof.
Absolutely. All right, Claire, if you get this one. Okay.
By the way, the GF is tuning in right now. She is so turned on with my clothes. So she ripped my clothes off when she comes down here.
My GF is tuned in right now too, but I think she's bored. So.
Well, duh. I mean.
All right. Question. So, a taxpayer paid $5,000 in tuition for their dependents' undergraduate education, okay? Which education credit may they qualify for, and how much is the maximum allowable credit? Now, option A is lifetime learning credit of $2,000. Option B is American Opportunity Tax Credit of $2,500. Option C is tuition and fees deduction, which is $4,000. And option D is none, because the credit is only for graduate students. I can read those again.
Read those again, man.
Okay, they're also on the screen. Option A is lifetime learning credit of $2,000. B is American Opportunity Tax Credit for $2,500. C is tuition and fees deduction for $4,000. And D is none, because you can only do this for graduate students. This is an undergrad.
Undergrad, $5,000. A is the lifetime thing for $5,000. And what's B?
B is it's the American Opportunity Credit for $2,500.
Okay, here's my logic. I've never heard of the second one. I have heard of the lifetime. I'm gonna go with A.
So the answer is actually B, because
Darn
undergraduate. Yeah, I had to. I'm sorry to have to do this to you, man. Like, if you don't study some of the stuff, we can't let you get too cocky.
Yeah.
The lifetime learning credit is generally for grad students, and the lifetime learning credit and tuition and fees deduction sort of go hand in hand. Now they stopped allowing the tuition and fees deduction for a while, but when it comes to undergraduate, you always want to remember it's the American Opportunity Credit. That's
The American. When was that American Opportunity? I want to know when that was implemented.
It's been around for a while.
Has it?
Yeah. If any of you guys know when they did that, but it has been around a long time. Ever since I started doing taxes, it's been around a long time.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I've never heard of it. So okay, well then I didn't get one of the really hard ones. So
All right. Well, you look away for a second.
one more. All right.
Yeah, we'll do one more.
Let me bring my notepad back up. All right.
Okay. That one's too easy for you.
Hey, yeah, I'm whittling it down between 1 and 2. You know.
Well, let me just say, this doesn't seem like rocket science, right? You just have to study for this stuff.
Yeah. No, these are factual. Like, do you know this thing or not? It's not like you have to deduce or come up with a mathematical formulae to derive the correct answer. It's either you know it or you don't.
Okay, you'll like this one, Clary, because it's
All right.
kind of you. Okay. A taxpayer owns 50% of an S corporation. You know what those are, right? So
Yes, they do.
50% of an S corporation.
Yep.
And receives a $30,000 distribution during the tax year. If the S corporation, the whole thing, had $25,000 of taxable income, how much of the income must this particular taxpayer report?
Whoa, wait a minute. Run this past me again. Though there's an S corp.
It's an S corp, right? But
It's K1 distribution of.
there's two
30,000.
people.
Two
One
people.
owns 50%, the other owns the other 50%, right?
All right.
Okay. This particular taxpayer, the one that owns 50%, got a $30,000 cash distribution during the year.
Okay.
If the S corporation, the whole thing, had $25,000 of taxable income, how much of the income must that one particular taxpayer report? This is
Okay, so he took a. Okay, so 25,000. That's 12,500 to each partner, and so he has 30,000 distribution. So subtract that out. You are at what is that? 17.5.